Hey Yahir, thanks so much for submitting an essay this week. I know this is a very similar prompt than one before, but I could tell that you really improved from the last essay of this prompt. Um, you provided really good examples. You were very clear, very organized, and I like that a lot. I like how you start, I like how you end, and overall, I think you have a very good paper. You're definitely improving, which is very good. I just have a few suggestions to make. Um, and we'll go through them right now. So I really love how you start off. You talk about how having friends is important because you can tell them things and you can play with them and spend time with them. Um, the only thing I would say here is that the third sentence, so the last sentence right here, that's highlighted, that's a little repetitive because you already said these things in this paragraph. Um, this would be something you put maybe in the conclusion just to quickly, you know, uh, um, summarize everything and just remind the reader of what you're talking about. So in this case, they just read that, so they don't need to be reminded of that. Um, so I would either delete that or just elaborate on what you said a little bit more without really repeating it. Also, a little thing you can do is maybe combine. Uh, you can play with your friends that sentence with the first one. So have something like, it's important to have a good friend because when you have a friend, you can tell them a lot of stuff and you can play with them. So that'd be a good way to combine those two sentences. And always try to look, seeing you can do that. You can't do that all the times because then your sentence may be too long and you'll have a run-on sentences. So just pay very close attention and yeah. Other than that, I mean, I think it's a very good way to start off. I really liked it a lot. And then you move on to your body paragraph, and you talk about how you didn't have friends, and then how you do have friends, and how you can tell them a lot of things. That's something that you talked about in the intro, and that's something that you elaborate in the body paragraph. So that's very good. Um, so one time I went to school. I don't have friends, so I started talking to people, and I started to have friends. I was talking to them, and they helped me when I needed help for something, and I helped them when they needed help. So that's a really good sentence. That's really what friendship is all about. I love that a lot. Um, you know, something that I would add to that is maybe a little detail. So add like a personal example, maybe of a time where a friend helped you or you helped a friend out or something like that. Or maybe y'all both came together and helped each other on like maybe, a math problem or something like that. But I really like that idea you have. And it's a really good way to relate it to you, to make it personal, and to keep the reader interested as well. Having a good friend is good because when you have friends, you can talk to them. And this second part of the sentence is also a little bit repetitive. Um, so having a good friend is good because when you have friends, you can talk to them, and it's good because you have people that you can talk to. Um, so again, I would maybe remove that last part that's highlighted right here and have something like having friends is good because when you have friends, you can talk to them, and maybe have something like and you can trust them, something like that. Um, you can trust them or you can spend time with them, something like that. And speaking of that, I noticed that you mentioned you can play with your friends in your intro, but you don't really mention that in the body paragraphs. So maybe you're a little pressed for time, but next time maybe have another body paragraph where you talk about how you play with your friends, what exactly you do, and how that makes you happy. That would just be a little something to add. It's just something to think about maybe for next time. Um, but other than that, I really like your body paragraphs, and I liked how you provide a personal example. It's always very good to keep the reader interested and to kind of make the essay just more about you, more unique, because think about what others are writing as well. And I mean, I'm sure they're all saying very similar things of, having a friend is important because you can spend time with them, you can trust them, you can talk to them. Obviously, a lot of people are going to write along those lines, but what's going to make yours different is the examples you have. And I really liked how you started to do that. So please keep in mind, the next essays you write, think about that. How am I going to make my paper different from other people's? Obviously, you're different than everybody else, so your experiences and your thoughts are going to be different as well. So put those on paper. The readers really want to see that, and more detail is always good. And so your conclusion, I really liked it a lot. It's important to have friends because you can talk to them and you can tell your friends about your feelings and how you feel, so you can feel good. I like that a lot. You brought it back to what you talked about in the body paragraph and also what you talked about in the intro. And you kept it brief, you kept it concise, which is really good. I liked it a lot. I think you ended very well. And overall, I think you have a very, very strong paper, Yahir. Good job. Please keep up the good work. Like I said before, keep up the organization, keep up with the descriptive details and the examples, and really make this personal. Make this about you. Good job overall. If I'm gonna attach a link to a survey, it's gonna be in the description of this video. If you could just write your name, it's gonna ask you 2 questions about what you think of this video, and there's gonna be a space where you can type up a comment or a question, a suggestion, anything like that I will read, and we can discuss it in the next video. It doesn't have to be about maybe a question about your essay. It could be anything random, so feel free to put whatever. Like I said, the link will be in the description. But Yahir, keep working hard, keep doing well in school, and I hope to read your essay next week. All right, I'll see you later.